In this great age of piracy, Luffy has plenty of rivals across the great vast sea. You have guys like Law and Kid. If you want to count other supernova, you have guys like Urouge or Capone. And of course, you can argue right now his greatest rival would be someone like Mr. All Day, Every Day, 24/7, 365, Zay ha ha ha. Blackbeard. However, right now, Buggy is looking like a top tier rival for the Monkey D. Luffy, and it's all memes. It's all shenanigans. People talk about how insane Kobe's growth rate is. What about Buggy's clout rate? That keeps on rising exponentially. Just when you think there's gonna be a market downturn in Buggy's clout, no, you're wrong.
I did wrong.
You're absolutely wrong. Those are just valleys in the ever ongoing climb that is the Buggy stock. Completely ignore Dofi's pace, because Buggy's pace is tricking the whole world, okay? When Russell Westbrook says he be tricking y'all, and you apply that to Buggy, it is a global hoax. Even the most prominent multi-millionaire pastors who need jets to go and fly across the world to spread the word of Jesus, even they can't even compare to the might and the majesty that is Buggy's clout game, that is his parabolic meme rise into being one of the most well-recognized individuals in the world, and currently a Yonko of the sea. Personally, I am not an avid Buggy supporter, but right now, even I can acknowledge that Buggy, he might just be the most dangerous Yonko in One Piece. Buggy the pirate god. Now, before we get into the actual substance on the how, the what, the where, we have to give a brief word for today's sponsor. This video is brought to you guys and gals by none other than the Surfshark VPN. Consistently and repeatedly, over and over and over and over and over again, Surfshark VPN has been an outstanding VPN service for much cheaper than the rest of the competition out there, without a doubt, and it has very damn good features. Like, for example, the clean web feature that removes any phishing attempts, any malware, any malice that can come your way on the web. It can sweep and remove and protect your online privacy security no matter where you are in the world, considering how this service has servers that are located all over the world. Whether you have Android, whether you have iOS, whether you have Linux, whether you're using an Apple, whether you use a Mac, it doesn't matter what you have. Surfshark VPN has your back, even when you're going into the most dark and decrepit places of the internet. Furthermore, if you don't know, I myself do have region-gated content. It is what it is. But if folks want to get access to my own region-gated content, or even other region-gated content, whether it's on Netflix, Disney Plus, Hulu, whatever, you can easily use Surfshark VPN to gain access to that. Simply put in the region that you want to be located in, and then boom, just like that, you get access to that said region-gated content. So go in the description box down below. Use code KOL, that is KOL, to get 83% off and 3 months free off of your purchase of Surfshark VPN. Once again, check all that out. Link in the box below. And without a doubt, make sure to use code KOL. Thank you, Surfshark VPN, for being awesome, and now let's get on to the video at hand. Now, that all being said, how did Buggy do it? How did Buggy manage to convince the world that he was a Yonko, create the Cross Guild with Mihawk and Crocodile as his wings? There's some big, huge-ass pterodon wings, and started putting bounties on the Navy. How on earth did Buggy start doing all this? So first off, we knew that in chapter 956, that Buggy on his island, Empty Bluffs in the New World, they were having a marine issue. And based on what's going on right now in the world, it's very clear that Buggy and his clique either handled it or they escaped from the situation on Empty Bluffs. And what's actually important here, but it's low key, but still very important, is Empty Bluffs itself, because that island is located in the New World, which means that Buggy has territory in the New World. Territory in the New World is one of the core components of being a Yonko. Garb said just as much when he was first shown in the series in the post-Enies Lobby arc, and a lot of folks tend to remember that Blackbeard beat Marco during the Payback War, but tend to also forget, according to Jinbei in chapter 650, that Blackbeard took all of Whitebeard's old territory. That's a very important thing. He took all of old Whitebeard territory and he started to rule that territory during the time skip. Yonko rule, whether it's directly or indirectly, they are rulers. Even Luffy in this chapter 1056, we see how he kind of uses that Yonko status to edge himself over Kid during an argument. Yonko have that ruler status, whether again it's directly or indirectly. And in Buggy's case, it's even possible where the Muggy Kingdom is also considered a Buggy territory because of Mihawk, if Mihawk is able to actually fend off all those Navy soldiers by himself. Even Crocodile have territory somewhere in the world, and that too would belong to Buggy, since Crocodile is essentially Buggy's henchman. In the same vein, Shanks would send Rockstar to meet Whitebeard. Buggy would oh my god. Buggy would send Crocodile to meet Luffy or meet Shanks, someone like that, okay? That is the whatever Crocodile has, Buggy has it too. I believe the term is Sukasa es mi casa. Muy bueno, muy bueno. Now, speaking of those guys, Crocodile and Mihawk, why would those guys get involved with Buggy in the first place? Because they should know that Buggy is an actual, unironic jobber, okay? Straight up low-tier wrestler. Mihawk trolled his ass in Marineford, and Crocodile saw plenty. He saw plenty of the Buggy shenanigans in Impel Down. The key person here is Sir Crocodile, not Mihawk, because Mihawk is not a planner, he's not a schemer. But Crocodile absolutely is. Crocodile reaching out to the newly displaced warlords after the Reverie, and they abolished the warlord system. An underground broker like him, and someone who is pretty conniving with a lot of schemes, clearly a lot of schemes, I can see him easily trying to amass those strong people under his wing, just how Doffy tried to recruit Crocodile during Marineford. So let's say Mihawk need to leave the Grand Line and go to the New World to avoid being chased by many Marines, then him and Crocodile could have met up somewhere in the New World, which is also where Buggy would be. There's no sense at all for Buggy to go back to Paradise, the Grand Line, when the world government and the Marines have more control and more resources in that area. And then also, if Crocodile did particularly point to Buggy, he wanted to meet up with Buggy specifically, it's not going to be because of Buggy himself, of course. It's going to be because of Buggy's subordinates, the men that follow Buggy. Remember what happened during Marineford War. Whitebeard and Buggy had interaction at Marineford, and Whitebeard noticed how Buggy's men, them being the enemies right now, would be a pain in the ass, because there were plenty of strong prisoners that are following Buggy's lead right then and there. So Buggy could have somehow, some way, accidentally stumbled across Crocodile and Mihawk, let's say during their meetup, or specifically Crocodile set up a meeting with all of the former warlords, including Buggy. Yes, all of the former warlords. But this is where Buggy's fame, which was already very high, took off to a whole new level. This is when the bombastic cloud Buggy has now reached a plateau, a level to where maybe Pirate God isn't that far off. Yonko Buggy. It is possible that Crocodile had set this holding up the Cross Guild with Buggy as the front man, because him being the front man is also Buggy being the fall guy, right? The primary target of the world government and the Navy is going to always be Buggy. If the Cross Guild goes up in flames, who takes the fall first? Buggy. So it could be Crocodile's play here. But knowing Oda, knowing Oda, when Buggy gets to the top of something, it's the the absolute furthest thing from an actual solid plan. Oh, no. We have seen it time and time again, where if Buggy's to the top, it's because of some absolute shenanigans. And we have to recall this too. Buggy's clout is equal to the clout of other warlords, like Kuma, like Boy Hancock, like Mihawk, and other warlords. Arguably even greater because the world saw him literally arguing with Shanks during Marineford. Of course, we all know that's not true. We all know the truth. He's Hercule. His job is for comic relief and memes. Memes.
Okay.
But in the actual standing in the world of One Piece, Buggy's clout game is top 5, without a doubt. Easily. And it's only getting higher. If there is a meeting between the warlords that Crocodile set up, and they meet somehow, some way, the Marines might have picked up on this and sent forces to capture and kill these former Shichibukai meeting up. In their minds, 3 powerful warlords are meeting up. Let's send forces to deal with this. And in this case, the main forces will probably be what? The SSG. Yeah, boy. SSG.
What the hell is she doing?
So what does that mean? Well, Buggy's alive, so is Crocodile, so is Mihawk, and Buggy got a super clout spike. Maybe if they got wind of this meetup between these 3 former powerful warlords, and they sent SSG over there, as far as the Marines know, and the government knows, Buggy could have beat / damage / pushed back whatever the SSG is. That is a wild sell, but a very possible sell, because it's not as if that he would actually defeat SSG. It'll be at least Crocodile and Mihawk, those guys working together to force back or damage or actually beat the SSG. And for some crazy meme-ish causality manipulation reasons, Buggy is the one that is granted the title of actually defeating the SSG. You can I know you can. You can imagine so many dumb ways where the Marines, they give Buggy the credit for thwarting the SSG. Which is how Buggy would attain the title of Yonko. He led Mihawk and he led Crocodile to victory over the Marines and the newly created SSG in some capacity. Another option is much more simpler, where let's say, for example, if the meeting place was on Buggy's territory, Empty Bluffs, in the New World, and the world government knew that, they could easily assume then that Buggy is the one calling the shots, therefore Buggy is the ringleader, and Mihawk and Crocodile would just be SSSS mercenaries. Since Hydruden and the Giants are S-class, well, Mihawk has to be at least SSSS class in comparison. Clearly, obviously, that's very fair. So there are plenty of options as to how this happened, but the end result is still the same. Chaos for the Marines like they have never ever seen before. And mainly this is the bounties put on the Navy. That's such a bold, that is such an interesting world building play right there, to actually put bounties on the Navy. Like, I've always said before that Oda is a master at world building, and this right here is another prima example of this. Putting bounties on the guys that actually made the bounty system themselves. A whole new bounty system that is headlined by Buggy and the Cross Guild. That is so cool. That is so intriguing. To be fair, this also could have been Crocodile's idea, because again, he's the guy that tends to plot and scheme and plan and so on and so forth. Mihawk, he's the muscle, okay? He's the muscle. But when it comes to planning and scheming, Crocodile is one of the best out there, easily. However, we cannot exempt Buggy from this either. This whole idea of the bounty system could be also Buggy's idea. Buggy, for a while, did have a global enterprise of people working for him. And this very enterprise was founded during the time skip. This is a very, 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 very short window of time where Buggy has actually achieved great success across the world, globally. Even now, that is probably still going on with the mercenaries. Buggy's delivery has been assimilated into the Cross Guild. That is a very likely assumption, but also a very key assumption on my part too, because this could be where Buggy is getting his money from to actually fund the bounties on the Navy. We don't know how his system works, but we do see stars and crowns on one of the posters in the latest chapter. If it's, let's say, for example, similar to Doflamingo's Dressrosa system, then 1 star equals 100 million berry. That is a lot of money, because there are plenty of Marine soldiers that guarantee have bounties. And some folks would assume that he got the money by simply finding some sort of treasure out there in the world. But the thing here is that if the money is so much, so plentiful, and people across the world are now trying to vie for Navy heads, and there are so many Navy men in the first place, finding one treasure, unless it was worth like trillions upon trillions of berry, even bigger than Don Chinjiao's treasure that we've seen in the past, I don't think finding one treasure chest cuts it, honestly. And I don't think it's also Crocodile's money either. I don't think Crocodile is Buggy's sugar daddy. Nah, I don't think so. I think it's actually a well-orchestrated system that builds itself up with a constant supply of money going out and in between the payouts of the bounties and taking in money through the mercenary fees. A very good system that continues to build on top of itself over and over and over again. Yes, 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 yes. And Buggy has had at least a year to amass a lot of money during the time skip when his delivery was running unimpeached, because he was a Shichibukai. And Buggy back then was eating good. Yo, he was eating real good. So Buggy has that money, plus the system maintains itself, and it keeps on getting bigger and bigger. Because the timing is also great. It's actually perfect timing. When Buggy uttered the words to the Marines, "Screw you guys. Hey, I became Shichibukai just a year ago, and now you guys take my status away? Oh, no. I'm going after your heads now as compensation." The moment he uttered those words, the time was spot on. Because other major mercenary cliques are suffering big time. Scotch and Rock, the Yeti Cool brothers from Punk Hazard, they're MIA. We have no idea where Scotch and Rock are. They could actually be dead somewhere in Punk Hazard. And we also know that Germa 66 have been going through some big mom issues for quite some time, and they have lost their status in the Reverie. And according to what you see in the cover story, it's still ongoing. And for them, that's a big shame, because right now, 8 kingdoms are in open revolt due to the success of Sabo and the failure of the Navy. And you know these kingdoms and other kingdoms, revolutionaries and so on and so forth, are looking for powerful folks to hire as a result of this upheaval across the world. The Cross Guild are filling in that void, plenty of voids to fill at the exact right time. So absolutely, you upcharge everybody. Woo! Big business, great timing, global reach. This is why right now, in the world of One Piece itself, Buggy might just be the most dangerous Yonko.